National University compensates non-exempt hourly employees for hours worked per applicable laws. As a non-exempt hourly employee, you are eligible for overtime under the provisions of applicable federal, state, and local laws. The university's timekeeping requirements policy requires permission to work overtime, which must be obtained before working the following: working more than 8 hours in a day, working more than 40 hours a week, working more than 6 days in a row, when working 7 consecutive days and more than 30 hours per work week, and working 7 consecutive days and worked more than 6 hours in any workday for that work week. In this example, I'll show you what it looks like when you have entered over 8 hours in one day. As you can see, the total hours entered is 9.5, and then the overtime triggered is 1.5. If you scroll down, you will see 2 entries. This accounts for the lunch that needs to be taken. A meal break of at least 30 minutes is required if you are working more than 5 consecutive hours. To record your meal break, you'll need to clock out on or before your 5th hour of work. Once you've completed your break, you will clock back in. This will appear as 2 entries on your timesheet for the same activities. You can see that here. I recorded 5 hours from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. I clocked out. I then returned after my half an hour break at 12:30 and worked till 5. This posting generated the 1.5 hours of overtime. Prior to submitting, it's important to note that these toggles must be turned to yes. It is important to also note that when wanting overtime, approval must be obtained. Advance written approval must be obtained prior to working overtime. If approval has not been granted, I understand overtime will be paid and that I will be contacted regarding unapproved overtime. I will show you how to submit an e-form to get overtime approval later on in this video. Again, we'll want to toggle that to yes and then submit. In this instance, you'll see what it looks like to have overtime triggered for when you work 7 days consecutively and go over 30 hours. As you can see, over 30 hours have been entered, which triggered 5 hours in overtime. When you scroll down, you can see that I have added time for every day of the week. When I added time on the last day, Sunday, that triggered the overtime. In this example, you'll see what it looks like to work 7 days in a row and have one day with over 6 hours. Again, you can see I've entered 23 hours, 0.98 minutes for the week. This is under the 30-hour requirement. However, one day I did go over the 6-hour limit. If you can scroll down, you can see Monday, Tuesday's entry, Wednesday's entry, Thursday's entry, and then Friday's entry, Saturday's entry, and then Sunday's entry of 7 hours triggered that overtime. In this example, you'll see what it looks like to work over 40 hours in 1 week. As you can see, 41 hours have been entered, and then that 1 hour triggered that overtime. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, again, I did 8 hours, and that triggered the overtime. Now, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like to submit that e-form for overtime approval. You want to get to your home screen by clicking the home button. Then you'll go to Faculty Quick Links. You'll hit Query eForm and Workflow, Employee Forms Dashboard. Here, you will see the Part-Time Faculty Overtime Request Form. Simply click Create New Form. You'll need to fill out all of these fields. I will show you how to do that. You'll include the term for which you'd like the overtime to be applied, the college in which you were hired, the course for which the overtime will be needed for, the class number of that course, the location of the class, the week in which the overtime will fall into, the date of the actual overtime, and then the number of hours requested. You'll need to provide a reason for this overtime. Once complete, you'll scroll down and submit and send to approver. At that point, you'll save action and return to dashboard. You'll want to save this number in your personal records to reference it at any time. This concludes the video for overtime. Welcome to the National University Part-Time Faculty Time Entry video regarding overtime.